In a society that proudly proclaims its free press, the unsettling reality presented is that our news is not a mirror reflecting the world, but a carefully crafted product. The central argument is that the mass media in democratic nations functions not as a watchdog for the people, but as a sophisticated propaganda system for elite interests. This system does not require overt state censorship. Instead, it operates through a series of subtle, powerful filters that ensure the final news product defends the status quo and manufactures public consent for the agendas of the politically and economically powerful. The process begins with ownership. The media landscape is not a diverse marketplace of ideas but an oligopoly controlled by a handful of massive corporations and exceedingly wealthy individuals. Their primary motive is profit, not public service. This profit imperative shapes content from the outset, favoring what is safe and marketable over what is challenging or critical of the very power structures that enable their wealth. The need for financial stability introduces a second, equally potent filter: advertising. Media outlets depend on advertising revenue to survive, making them inherently beholden to their corporate sponsors. Stories that might offend major advertisers or disrupt the consumerist, buying mood, are discouraged or spiked, while programming is tailored to attract affluent audiences that advertisers covet. This quietly sidelines perspectives critical of corporate power and marginalizes media aimed at poorer audiences. To produce a constant flow of material, news organizations rely heavily on official, pre-packaged information from powerful sources, government agencies, corporate public relations departments, and experts approved by established institutions. This reliance makes the media susceptible to manipulation, as these sources can set the agenda, time releases for political advantage, and frame issues in ways that serve their interests. The sheer volume and apparent authority of this information drowns out alternative voices, which are often sporadic, underfunded, and easily dismissed as unreliable. The selection of these official sources acts as a crucial filter, determining not only what is news, but also the boundaries of acceptable debate. When these structural filters fail to prevent a critical story from emerging, elites have a final enforcement mechanism: flak. This refers to organized, negative responses to media statements, including lawsuits, letter-writing campaigns, complaints to sponsors, and accusations of bias or unpatriotism. Well-funded flak machines, often backed by corporations or political groups, can punish deviant media, raising the cost of dissent and encouraging self-censorship to avoid future hassle and expense. The result of this propaganda model is a profoundly biased narrative. The book demonstrates how this system consistently vilifies official enemies, often under the umbrella of anti-communism, while excusing or ignoring the atrocities of allied nations and client states. It shows how the lives of some victims are deemed worthy of extensive, sympathetic coverage, while the deaths of others, particularly those caused by Western powers, are minimized or ignored. Crucially, the media's occasional criticism of powerful figures, such as during political scandals, is not evidence of its independence. These criticisms almost always represent conflicts within the elite, one faction using the media to attack another, rather than a genuine challenge to elite power from outside. True dissent that questions the fundamental structures of the system is consistently filtered out. Ultimately, the media's primary social role, as analyzed here, is one of indoctrination. By presenting a narrow, elite-friendly view of the world as objective reality, the system teaches the public to accept social and economic inequalities, to fear designated enemies, and to believe in the essential benevolence of established power. It manufactures consent by making the policies of the powerful seem like the natural, rational, and only possible course of action, thereby preserving a deeply unequal status quo not through force, but through the subtle and pervasive shaping of public perception itself.